Well, that just puts in context what we're about to discuss with Sugandha Sachdeva, the Vice President for Commodity and Currency Research at Religare Broking. Great to have you with us this evening. Sugandha, we are watching the prices of gold right now. Now, what are the factors that you think are going to come most into play to decide the direction and how much further these prices are likely to rise, given the fact that many of these global banks are preferring to supply gold to countries like China and Turkey for the higher premium that they offer?
Yeah, hi Vikram. If we talk about the gold trend, it's been 6 consecutive months of decline, after which we have seen a strong rebound that has come in gold prices. For the last 6 months, prices were on a declining spree. It was majorly the rising interest rate environment which was actually driving dollar index on the higher trajectory and kind of pressurizing gold prices for a very long time. So overall, the ride has been quite patchy this year, but now this month we have seen a strong resurgence that has come in gold prices. So the first factor is there are a lot of worries about a global recession. So that is one reason which is actually igniting a lot of safe haven demand for gold. Besides this, we've also seen that dollar index has also cooled off from its recent highs of around 114.70 mark, so which was a 20-year high. So that is also leading to some safe haven flows going back to gold. So these are the two major reasons. Apart from that, we have yes seen that central banks have been on a gold buying spree this year also. I mean, it's the 10th consecutive year wherein we, rather, in fact, the 12th consecutive year wherein we have seen that central banks have been buying gold. So it's basically boils down to the fact that premiums have been rising in China and Turkey, and they are not actually supplying gold to India. But overall, if we see towards the last quarter of this year, I think that demand for gold in India is also likely to rise. So overall, I think the demand for gold is likely to remain very healthy, and the trend for gold imports in India is also likely to be around 700 to 800 tons. The trajectory for gold prices, if I talk about, gold prices were earlier supported by the level of $1680 per ounce for almost 2 years now. This year, we saw prices briefly breaching that level, but yes, overall, prices have managed to hold support around this vicinity itself, and they have managed to show a strong rebound. Going forward, also, we believe that the trajectory is going to be very positive with the kind of resurgence that we have seen in gold prices and the concerns about a slowdown. We believe that the initial resistance for prices is seen at $1780 per ounce, and in case that is breached, we are likely to head higher towards $1850 per ounce in incoming days. Even though the rising interest rate environment is still suppressing gold prices, but then the concerns about rising inflation. If we see inflation in the developed world, it is currently hovering around a multi-decade high, and the entire world is grappling with high inflation. And with the way crude oil prices are again soaring higher, I think this inflation narrative is likely to bode well for gold prices going ahead.
So, in fact,
If I
Sugandha, that's
talk
what I
about
wanted to ask you. Looking at the way inflation is playing out in India, you're talking about higher demand as far as gold is concerned. Now, talking about the possibility of a recession elsewhere in the world, and they're looking at gold as a possible safe haven investment. These are two different reasons why people, investors, are looking towards gold. Now, when you look at the Indian story as opposed to the rest of the world, is it really turning out to be different? Because inflation is also something that we are facing right now. In the light of the festivities, is it something that we are going to see despite the inflationary pressures? And if so, how much further are we going to see gold being bought at elevated levels that they would be available at?
See, I think the fireworks are certainly missing this year with the kind of returns. Fireworks are certainly missing, but yes, if I talk about the returns this year also, gold prices are trading almost 8% up. So the trend is not very bullish, but yes, we are very positive about the near-term outlook. I would not say that we can see prices heading higher towards 56,000, which was close to the record highs for gold. But yes, I think demand is certainly likely to pick up ahead of this vesting season. We have a lot of Indians, basically, if you see, over the years, they have a lot of affinity for gold. And gold is a time-tested asset, rather a timeless asset. And it has actually provided a lot of diversification to your portfolio. So I believe also with the fact that inflation in India is also at elevated levels, not like the developed world. So this is also likely to drive the demand for gold going forward. So now if I talk about other factors, see, we have to look at the inflation narrative. We also have to look at the concerns about slowdown. So both of these factors are very positive for gold prices. So if I talk about some empirical data, if you look at the last 30 years for the domestic gold scenario, we have seen that gold prices have given annualized returns of around 10%, while the CPI index has hovered around 7 to 6%. So we have always seen that gold prices have managed to surpass the cost of living index. This is one major reason why Indians would again be actually flocking onto gold. So most of these factors are still pointing towards high gold prices. So if I talk about the last 5 months scenario, gold prices have been hovering in a range of around 49,000 on the downside. And on the higher side, 52,700 mark is acting as a ceiling for prices.
Right.
Once we breach this level, and in the light of the geopolitical concerns, the lingering geopolitical concerns, inflation on the higher trajectory, slowdown concerns, I think we can very well surpass this level. And once we see that prices surpass this level, we are certainly likely to see some fireworks also coming out in gold.
We'll have to wait for the fireworks to take place. Sugandha, many thanks for joining us with your perspective on gold prices and the direction that they are likely to take. As much as we see the demand in the festive season, whether or not that's going to sustain, whether there will be supply side concerns as well, looking at the way India has been getting that gold from global banks, but now with the limited premium that India offers in comparison to several other countries, we'll have to see on the supply side whether that comes under pressure. But meanwhile,